my friends, thanks for stopping by. Today we are going to do a requested foundation review, and the requested foundation is the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover. It is a full coverage protective makeup with sunscreen of SPF broad spectrum of 50, and I had to get two colors because one I thought was a little bit much and the other I thought might be a little too light, but I think if I blended them together they would be perfection. But I'm only going to use one today, and we will decide when I start to apply which one I will be putting on. All right, so a little bit about the product. It is $12.99 for a 1 ounce tube. The packaging is plastic. It comes in a tube and it has a pointed end, which I rather like. As far as ingredients go, it does have some antioxidants of niacinamide, vitamin E. It also has caffeine in it. But my friends, it does have SD alcohol as the fourth ingredient. It also has fragrance and silicones. It says that it gives you a flawless coverage. It is lightweight. And I'm also going to take some pictures, inside, outside, maybe a little clip. And the application, you can do brush, sponge, or your fingers. Now, so for today, we are going to use two forms of application. And I think that's all I really need to tell you about this foundation. So let's go on to the trying it out. All right, my friends? So let's get started. Dream Urban Cover, full cover protective makeup sunscreen, SPF 50. And the color that I am trying is 128 Warm Nude, because I feel that the 120 Classic Ivory is just a little too light for me. However, if this one oxidizes, I may have to mix them together. So we're going to hang on to this one. Okay, so this side of my face is primed with the It Bye Bye Pores. I don't believe this is available anymore. It's not my favorite. All you need is a good pore primer if you are somebody who has a pore issue. But for this review, I am going to do half my face with nothing, and then the other half has this, because I do have a situation with my pores. All right, so let's get started. This side I will do with the e.l.f. sponge, and it is damp, and I squeeze it out with a towel to take all the excess moisture out of it. And then I'm going to use the BK Beauty 101 foundation brush on this side, and we are going to get to it. So let's put a little bit out on my hand. You can see that's the formula. It is a medium consistency. It is dragging slightly, so it's more, it does have a little liquid feel to it. So I'm just going to take a little bit more of this, and we are just going to work it on this side of my face. Okay, it has a very nice consistency. It spreads well with just my fingers on my hand, and it does have pretty good coverage on my hand, but we're going in with the sponge. So I'm just going to pick up what's left on my hand, and we'll see how this works. Now, my preferred method for most foundations is a damp sponge. However, there are some that I do prefer a brush, and then there are those that I just like my hands. So we are going to go ahead and work this in. The color is pretty darn good if it doesn't oxidize on me. I do have a problem with many foundations oxidizing on me, especially those from the drugstore, but I also have the problem with higher ends. And this one it is a little yellow, so I think the next time I may blend it with the Warm Ivory. It has a beautiful, beautiful finish. It does have a beautiful glow. I don't see any matte happening yet. I do have wrinkles, so I can't say that the foundation is creating the wrinkles. However, we will tell as the day goes on if it is accentuating my flaws. So that's what it looks like with just one round. I am going to build up because it's not enough coverage for me, and I do think that this color is definitely going to get a little bit darker on me. So we're going to go ahead and just take another little dollop and dot it. Okay, so we're going to just do the same thing we did with the first layer, just to see, because I do have an age spot right here, and you know, I sound like a broken record, but I also have a lot of veining, green veins that run along the side that I do like to cover up. I just don't like them. If your veins don't bother you, then don't worry about it. I'm going to have to blend this down a little bit on the jawline because it is, and go back into the ear area because it is a little yellow, like I said, a little warm. I don't know what companies are thinking. When they're doing the warm foundations now, they're actually adding so much yellow into them. And I don't know if they think we're all olive tone, but I mean, I do have a slight olive undertone, but not crazy. So I don't understand why they're not making lighter olive. Okay, so it does have a very nice finish to it right now. I do see a lot of the texture on my face, so we'll see how that wears during the day. So we're going to get started on the other side, and the other side I'm going to use a foundation brush. Now I'm just going to put a pretty good amount because I know I need more than one to get the coverage that I like. I'm going to go ahead and tap some on forehead, nose, and then I'm going to take the rest on the brush and I'm just going to work it in. This is a really nice foundation brush. It has a nice density, and I like density when you want coverage. Now, if you're somebody who just likes that airbrush look, you do better with a dual fiber, such as something like this that's a little looser, and just buff it in. But I do like this one. So we're going to go ahead and see how this works. And I like to pounce even with a foundation brush. And I drag the foundation down because I do have little facial hairs. But if you prefer, you can also swirl. So whatever you prefer, that's what you do. I'm going to go over my ears slightly, and then I'm just going to work it slightly down the neck. See, I'm somebody, my foundation with color, I don't like to have to blend it down my jawline and over my ears. So I do like my foundation to match as close as possible. Okay, so the finish of the brush is beautiful. It looks just as nice as the sponge side. And there are no brush lines. That's what I like about this. There's no brush lines, but if you did, then you would just go over and pat. Ooh, did you hear that thunder? I heard it. Okay, so there it is. So now, under my eyes, I am going to go with the Classic Ivory. During these foundation reviews, I don't like to use concealer at all. I like to see what the foundation can do on its own. I have mentioned before that when I'm watching some videos and the amount of concealer that goes over the foundation, I think to myself, how can that be considered a foundation review with all of the concealer that's being put on? And with age, a lot of women just don't like to wear concealer anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the foundation itself to see what kind of coverage and what kind of wear I get out of it underneath my eyes. And the warm ivory works really well as far as color for me underneath. Okay, so there is the foundation applied all on its own. Okay, so it's 7:30 in the morning. I'm going to go ahead and finish my makeup, and then I'll come back real quick and just let you see the finished look and give you a first impression of how it's worn just through the application process. And then I will go about my day. Today I am meeting with a bunch of girlfriends. We do this for every birthday, and because I'm leaving for Florida early November, I will miss being here for my birthday. So we're having my birthday lunch today, my 60th birthday lunch today. And I don't know, maybe I'll pull out my camera and take a few pictures or run a little video. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stop babbling and I am going to finish my look and be right back. All right, my friends, I am back with the finished look. And I'll just briefly tell you what I have on my face, but everything will be listed and linked below for you. And I am wearing the Naked Honey palette, the Urban Decay Naked Urban Decay Honey Palette. Let's get it right. And I showed this in a recent haul. It is really nice. I do like the looks I get, but I am a warm tone girl, so these really work for me. On my cheeks, I seem to constantly go back to this. I love the Glow Skin Beauty bronzer, and this is in Sunlight. It's just a perfect bronzer. It doesn't add, it's not red, it's not too light for me. It's just perfect. I really do like it. I wear it a ton. And powder on the face is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Powder, because I know how this powder plays on my face with many foundations and under my eyes. So the powder is on the face, and usually I do half my face with powder and half not, but I got a little carried away with myself today, and I just ran that brush across my whole face. So today it will be with the Charlotte Tilbury powder, but as I mentioned, I do know how this plays with my foundations, so I'll be able to still give you a pretty good review. And then this, the blush I have on, which is right here, which has such a beautiful satin finish to it, is the Shiseido Cocoa Dust. Now this one is very hard to find online, but if you go in store to a Shiseido counter, you will be able to find this. It's a very neutral, it's a beautiful, beautiful blush. Again, not for cool tone skins. I don't think it would play well on your skin, but it's just a really, really pretty blush. And as you can see, it almost doesn't show up, but it leaves this beautiful satin glow, and when you are putting it on, you can see the color, but it is just really, really beautiful. And on my lips, I am wearing MAC Spice Liner. On my lips, I first primed with the Glam 35 that I did a video on last week or so, or a couple weeks ago. I will link that video below so that you can see the actual results wearing a lipstick. Today I am wearing a balm, and you're going to get a twofer in this video because I'm going to talk about the foundation, of course, but I also want to see how this balm plays with the Glam 35, because I love the consistency of this balm, and I actually like the color, and I would like to get more of them, but it does end up in my lip lines, trying to travel its way up to my brain, okay? So today we're going to do a run test on the Glam 35 to see how it works with balms, because it works great with lipsticks, all right? And the color, this is 106, all right? So that's what I have on my lips. And then my lashes are primed with the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise Base. Love it. It's the pink one. I think it only comes in the one color, the pink, but I do love it. But I will say that this tube does not last a really long time. It does start to get clumpy fast. And if you're putting a clumpy primer on, you're going to get a clumpy look to your mascara. So don't keep it longer than 2.5 months, because it does get a little clumpy. And my mascara is the Shiseido Controlled Chaos Mascara. I do like this mascara. I don't get any fallout, and there's no sprinkles of mascara on my cheeks. I love the brush. It's the good old-fashioned brush. It does have a little bit of an hourglass shape to it, but I love that it's a fiber brush and not a plastic brush. I don't like plastic brush. What else? I think that is it. No concealer. Yep, that's it for the look today on my face. Oh, I did line my tight line, and I'm very mad at Nars. Very mad. They discontinued the larger-than-life eye pencils in Apia, so I'm going to try the new formula because I really like the staying power that I got from the Apia, so I'm hoping that they did not change that, but they don't have the Apia available anymore. They do have 2 browns, so I'll select one of the browns, and then we'll see how that is. All makeup was applied with the BK Beauty brushes, the eye brushes. I used the whole set today, the BK Beauty, and I think these come back in stock in November. And you can buy them individually or as a set. I absolutely love these brushes, my favorite being these 2. But like I said, you can order them individual, and I have a code, not making any money. BK Beauty was just kind enough to offer codes. I think it's still active. So I think it's for 10% off or something like that. So take a look-see underneath for all the links, and I'm going to go about my day. It's about 8:15 now. There was a pretty big thunderstorm, and I wanted to make sure that the dogs were okay. They do really well with thunderstorms, and it's really, it really makes me feel good because Harley is a very anxious dog. Anyway, so I'll be back after my lunch with my friends to see how this lasts and how this wears. But before we go anywhere, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's see what my first impression of this foundation is. Using this, it really does look good. It's not too matte. It is lightweight. It seems like it has disappeared a little bit into my skin, but I think on camera it is looking really, really nice. So what I'll do is I'll take some pictures in natural light, and then I'll take a picture outside if the sun comes out, because I don't know if you can see out, well, you can't see out the window because I have myself zoomed in. But it's pretty dark out there right now. And we're supposed to have rain and thunderstorms all day today. So we'll do our best today trying to get good pictures for you. Underneath the eyes, there's no caking, but I will say that this foundation is not enough to cover my green veins on this side of the eye. So I can still see them, but I think anybody looking at me would not even notice them. But you know, we are our own worst critics, so we notice every single flaw on our face. My age spot is still showing with this foundation. So I don't know, maybe building it up one more layer could help. So first impression, it's really, really kind of pretty. I don't think it looks really matte or dried out. I'll back up so you can see it from a distance. And of course, I'm going to turn the light down now and zoom right in so you can see right up on Australia. And that's a made-up word. Okay, here I come. All right, my friends, it is just about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I am back. I am going to do my check-in, give you my review of this lovely foundation. I will let you know that I was rained on. It has been pouring here all day. I did have an umbrella, but at one point it didn't make a difference, to be honest with you. So I had lunch with my girlfriends. I had a soup for lunch, which you can see the lipstick is worn off, but that's not what we're going to check on the lipstick. We're going to check to see if it's bleeding into my lip lines. But let's talk about the foundation first and how I feel it has really worn on my skin. This is another really great foundation for dry skin, mature skin. I will say that when I separate this area here, there is only a little bit of a buildup, but because I am zoomed in with a 5-time magnifier, it really shows up. But I think for the person that is standing in front of me, they're not going to notice that. And on this side, there's absolutely nothing, but this side is deeper than this side. It's worn very well all over the face, and my friends, it did not oxidize, so that's another bonus. I really, really do like the finish of it. I think it has worn really well. There is a little texture. I'm noticing a little more texture to my skin with age. So, of course, any foundation I wear, that texture is going to be there because it exists. But does it accentuate it? I don't really think so. And it also is not really accentuating the fine lines on my face. Under my eyes, it wore really well. However, I will say that I need a little more than foundation underneath my eyes. But as I mentioned, I really like to just wear the foundation so that we can get a true feel for this foundation. And for the women that cannot wear concealer because it just accentuates the lines underneath their eyes or makes it look like a hot mess, because that also exists for some of us. It really did play well though. The powder played really well with it. I really like this foundation so much that I think I'm going to go and look for another color, because this one actually, it looks really good, because I don't like to look ghostly, because sometimes when you go a little too light, you really do age yourself. But I also don't want to be so dark that you can see the difference from my face to my neck. I really, really like this foundation. It has a very comfortable feel on it. Even to touch it, there's no tackiness. Now, there is one thing that all of you say to me, and I guess I'm just going to have to do it on a mirror. So you can see that with all the rain, I have a little bit of frizz going on in my hair, but there's nothing I can do about that. Okay, so one thing that I am always asked during my foundation reviews is to do the phone test. I really never really think to do the phone test because there's not really a foundation that I've ever worn that I don't see it on either my house phone or my cell phone. So I'm just going to take a clean mirror here and I'll just lay it on my cheek and we'll just have a little moment between us and then we'll see how much of it actually transfers. Now, okay, so there is what you are seeing. I don't really think that is more than usual. So for me, this isn't really a big deal for me. Okay, so that's the transfer. That could just be my natural oils transferring on there because to be honest with you, when I look at it, I'm not really seeing foundation. I'm not seeing color on here. I'm just seeing natural oils. Hard to believe coming off of my dry skin. So it is the foundation, the moisture of the foundation, but really I don't think it's excessive. One thing I will say about this foundation is right on the label it says full coverage. I am not getting full coverage from this foundation. I'm getting a very comfortable skin-like feel to this foundation, and I did go ahead and double up with 2 layers. So maybe a 3rd layer may make it more full coverage, but for those of you that are really looking for something to really mask out something that you may need taken care of, I'm not sure about this one because I am telling you, this is a very natural looking and feeling foundation. All right, my friends, so that is it for this review. Let me know in the comments if you've tried the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Foundation, what your skin type is like, and what your results from wearing it all day were like. I say yes, I'm going to go and try to find a color in between these two. But like I said, I may not even need to because this really does look pretty darn good. So now I'm going So now I'm going to give you my impression of the Glam 35 with the Shiseido lip balm. It did an excellent job. And I had for lunch a pasta fazool, so you know that has a little bit of an oil to it, lots of olive oil in it, and it is not in my lip lines at all. So 2 thumbs up for that. All right, my friends, so that's it for me today. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you as an Ageless Beauty. Hit that bell notification so you are made aware of all the videos that I am putting up. And right next to it is that big bad subscribe button. So go ahead and subscribe. Until the next time, go out in the world and be happy, healthy, beautiful, and most of all, my friends, lovable. I love you all. Bisous.